If you've ever been told to close one eye when shooting clays, you're not alone. In fact, it's one of the most common pieces of advice given on shooting grounds around the world, often passed down from instructor to student without ever being questioned. And at first, it sounds logical. Close one eye, simplify the picture, aim more precisely, right? But here's the problem. And this is where a lot of shooters get stuck. Closing one eye doesn't simplify shooting. It removes critical information. The moment you shut one eye, you lose depth perception. Distance becomes harder to judge. Speed becomes harder to read. Angles become guesses instead of data. And that's why so many shooters can hit easy, predictable targets, but fall apart the moment presentations change. At Barrel Boost, our goal isn't shortcuts or quick fixes. Our goal is repeatable consistency, the kind that holds up across different speeds, distances, heights, and target angles. And if you want that kind of consistency, you don't need to see less. You need to see everything. Today we're breaking down why shooting with both eyes open isn't just better. It's how your vision, brain, and body are designed to work together. And once you understand this, you'll start seeing targets and your misses in a completely different way. Before we move on, please subscribe and turn on the bell because only subscribers will get notified about the next videos. Let's start our breakdown. Why one-eyed shooting fails. When you close one eye, you lose depth perception. That's your brain's ability to judge how far away something is and how fast it's moving. With only one eye open, your brain has a harder time reading how far the target is, how fast it's moving, which direction it's going, how quickly it's changing. Instead of seeing this information clearly, you start guessing. On slow, easy targets, those guesses might still work. But once targets change, higher, faster, crossing, or coming at different angles, the guessing catches up with you. That's when misses start to feel random. If you've ever felt like your setup was good and your swing felt smooth, but the target still didn't break, this is often the reason. Nothing was wrong with your technique. You just didn't have all the visual information your brain needs. At Barrel Boost, we see this all the time. When shooters open both eyes, timing improves, targets look clearer, and consistency starts to come back. The guessing trap. One-eyed shooting forces you to estimate lead instead of perceiving it. That's why shooters start doing things like staring at the barrel, measuring lead consciously, hesitating before pulling the trigger, forcing the gun through the shot. At that point, you're no longer reacting, you're calculating. And shooting doesn't reward calculation, it rewards timing. Why eye dominance is overblown. One of the biggest myths in clay shooting is that eye dominance controls everything. Left eye, right eye, master eye, tape on glasses, dots on lenses. Sound familiar? Eye dominance matters far less than people think when both eyes are open and focused correctly. The real issue isn't which eye is dominant. It's whether the shooter is allowing the visual system to work naturally. Covering, blurring, or blocking one eye doesn't teach vision. It limits it. At Barrel Boost, we believe shooters should learn how to use their eyes, not fight them. How the visual system really works. Your brain is far more capable than most shooters realize. When both eyes are open and locked onto the target, the brain reads distance instantly, interprets speed automatically, tracks movement continuously, all without conscious thought. You don't need to tell it how much lead to use. You don't need to measure space. You don't need to reference the barrel. Your job is simple. Stay visually connected to the target. When you do that, the rest takes care of itself. Why you should never look at the barrel. This is where many shooters struggle. They've been taught to keep their head down, see the rib, align the bead. But the moment you look at the barrel, your attention leaves the target. Shotguns aren't aimed like rifles. They're pointed through movement. The barrel should exist in your vision as a soft blur, never as a focal point. When both eyes are open, the barrel naturally disappears into the background. That's not a flaw. That's how it's supposed to work. The straightaway target problem. Straightaway targets expose one-eyed shooting faster than almost any other presentation. Here's why. As the gun comes up from behind the bird, the barrel blocks your remaining eye just before the shot. The target disappears, and the trigger gets pulled anyway. That's shooting blind. With both eyes open, this never happens. Even when the barrel passes in front of the target, you still see the clay clearly. The brain continues tracking it, and the gun moves naturally through the breakpoint. This is why so many shooters miss straight birds and swear they don't know why. They stop seeing the target. When the human mind ruins the shot. The best shots feel almost effortless. The worst ones feel forced. That's not accidental. Misses usually happen when shooters stop trusting what they see and start trying to control the outcome. They rush, check the barrel, or fire where they think the gun should be. The moment conscious control replaces visual trust, timing disappears. At Barrel Boost, we teach shooters to let the eyes lead and the body follow. The truth about missing left. One of the most misunderstood shooting problems is consistently missing to one side, especially left. This is often blamed on eye dominance. In reality, it's usually body mechanics. When the gun is mounted off center and swung upward, the body begins to stretch. As that happens, one side of the body pulls harder than the other, creating lateral drag. The higher the gun goes, the more it drags. This has nothing to do with your eyes. It's posture, tension, and alignment. Once shooters understand this, many eye dominance issues vanish instantly. Why shooting feels harder than it should. Shooting is one of the few sports that hasn't been fully explained in simple terms. Other sports have standardized fundamentals. Shooting often relies on tradition, half explanations, and workarounds. So shooters search for answers in equipment changes, vision tricks, gadgets, and accessories. But real progress usually comes from removing interference, not adding it. Open your eyes, focus on the target, trust the system. What shooters notice when it clicks. When shooters finally commit to shooting with both eyes open, a few things happen fast. Targets feel slower, timing improves, misses make sense, confidence increases. Even beginners can feel the difference almost immediately. And once shooters experience it, very few ever go back. Gun fit still matters. Vision is critical, but it works best when the gun fits properly. A poorly fitted stock forces compensation, head movement, tension, inconsistent mounting. That's especially true for women and smaller frame shooters. Modern shotgun designs are finally addressing this, with stock shaped for different physiques, grip sizes, and lengths that promote comfort and consistency. Good fit supports good vision. Closing one eye feels safe. It feels controlled, but it limits your ability to truly read the target. Shooting with both eyes open isn't a trick. It's how the system is designed to work. At Barrel Boost, we believe better shooting starts with better understanding. Trust your eyes, trust the process. And if this breakdown helped you see shooting differently, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future Barrel Boost videos. Stop shooting blind and start shooting with confidence.